Brothers and sisters, thank you for joining me for this short video. So this has to do with the previous video that I did and understanding that forgiveness is for this life. So as always, I encourage you to take all things to Yahshua for yourself, for your own understanding. So I was instructed in the Holy Spirit to elaborate on that, Mary Magdalene had taught that forgiveness was for this life. And why she taught that is because when you can understand the purpose of life, then you understand that each of us have growth. Each of us have weaknesses. Each of us have struggles that we're overcoming. And it's how Yahshua taught. He meets us where we're at. And we too are to meet others where they're at. And the purpose for forgiveness is that their understanding was where it was at. And at the time that you experienced a situation that might not have been very fun, right? It might have brought pain or hurt, betrayal, any of those things upon you. But it's where they were at in their own personal growth. And they had to go through that experience as well in hopes that, they could also be elevated if they chose to see heaven's hand in what was happening. And so, like I said, it's not that we have to be that person's best friend. It's not that we don't have to have boundaries. It's just understanding what true forgiveness is. And forgiveness is understanding that we are all here in this journey of life. We are all experiencing, we're all growing, and we're all at different levels of ascension. And so where you could look at a person and say, well, how could you have possibly done that? Like, I would have never done that. It's where they were at in their progression and what had to happen in order for hopefully for them to grasp the growth that heaven had for them to overcome that. Rather it's generational curses or curses that they brought upon themselves or weaknesses, struggles, whatever it is. The beauty in forgiveness is for this life is meeting people where they're at and understanding, okay, I can look at that person and say, I forgive you for what you did because it was where you were at, and you had growth that had to come from that. And ultimately, in return, I was able to grow and be exalted to a higher level of understanding for myself. So that's where forgiveness comes in, and that's where forgiveness is for this life. And if we understand the purpose of life, and we're all here having this life experience, and we're all here at different levels, then we can see why people sometimes do the things that they do, because that's the level that they are at. And we were once there ourselves. We're eternal beings, and so we eternally progress. So we were once where they were at, and so we can have that compassion, that love, that empathy, and ultimately forgiveness. We can have forgiveness and we can move on with our life, continuing to learn from the experience and being present in the moment. So I hope that helps us understand the purpose of forgiveness and why Mary Magdalene taught that it was for this life. It truly is for this life and goes hand in hand with what Yahshua taught of meeting people where they were at. And that's what we are to do. We are supposed to walk in his footsteps of what he did and be the light, and that comes by meeting people where they're at. And so, understanding that might help us spread love faster upon this earth, and not that we continue to put ourselves in that path of harm's way or dismiss that. Learn from it, hand it to Father and Mother, and move on, and allow the growth to come. And if we can understand the beauty of forgiveness, then the perfected love will happen much faster upon this earth, and this world will be able to ascend in that perfected love. Have a blessed day.